Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Clarity in the Chaos, where we attempt to bring some vertical clarity into the horizontal chaos going on in our world today. So we'll all become very familiar with the term social distancing, and we are doing our best to practice that to the point of staying in our homes as much as possible. And that's necessary. It helps prevent the spread of virus. But in social distancing, as we do that, it's important that we make sure we're still having some social interaction. You and I were made to be connected, to be a part of others' lives, and for them to be a part of our lives. And it's important for us because when we're connected with other people, we get perspective. We get some reminders of seeing from a different perspective. We get hope in the midst of that. We get peace as other people speak into our lives, and we get a sense of purpose as well, not just from what others give to us, but in what we give to others and how we reach out and care for others. We also protect ourselves. This could be from physical protection, but more importantly, heart protection, because if we isolate away from all others and not have any interaction from others, it can lead to some dark places in our mind, in our heart, in our emotions. So it's important as we social distance that we not cut off our social interaction and become socially isolated. That can be a dangerous thing to our heart. It's there that depression can set in, anxiety can set in, wrong thinking patterns can set in. We can become have feelings of just being alone, separated, cut off, and then darker thoughts start to come in. No one cares for me. No one likes me. No one's interested in me. I'm all alone. I'm all by myself, which opens us up to all kinds of spiritual attack and deceptions at that point as well. Thoughts about God having left us, God not with us, God against us. So as we turn today to Proverbs chapter 4, we looked for some clarity in the midst of this. In each of our episodes, we're looking at select verses from one of the chapters of the book of Proverbs. We're into Proverbs 4 today. And I love how Proverbs 4 begins, because it talks from the perspective of someone who is fully engaged and fully interactive. It's written from the perspective of an older man who is longing to give and help what he refers to as his children. And sometimes this is interpreted as a father to a son, but sometimes this is understood in the way of a master to his apprentices or students. And so you can apply it both ways. In either case, it's the heart of someone who is not isolated, but very interested in passing on what has been given to them. So let's read the first verses here. We're going to look at 1 through 5 today, and a few comments, and we'll see if we can find some clarity in the midst of our chaos. In verse 1, it says, "Hear, my children, the instruction of a father, and give attention to know understanding, for I give you good doctrine. Do not forsake my law. When I was my father's son, tender and the only one in the sight of my mother, he also taught me and said to me, let your heart retain my words. Keep my commands and live. Get wisdom. Get understanding. Do not forget nor turn away from the words of my mouth." Beautiful words here about the importance of wisdom. But what I love is really kind of the undertone backstory here. The heart of someone who says, I want someone else to be encouraged. I want someone else to know what's been given to me. And I think this is where we get real spiritual vitality, emotional health, and even mental health. When we become passionate to care for someone else. When we refuse to become self-absorbed, self-isolated, self-consumed, self-introspective all the time, worried about what others think about us. Why isn't someone helping us? Why isn't someone doing something for me? That turns us inward. But here you see in Proverbs 4 the heart of someone who says, I've got to do something for someone else. I want to pass along something for someone to help them. Someone help me, I want to help them. And so what God pours into us, He always pours in for the purpose of us pouring out to someone else. So I would say to us to find some clarity, have a heart during this time that wants to help. This is where life will come from within you. This will be what gives you a reason to wake up in the morning. This will be what gives you strength throughout your day. What can I do to encourage someone else? What can I do to help someone today? Be focused on someone else's need, and it'll keep you from the darker thoughts within yourself. And then have a heart that's honest. I love, as Solomon writes here, excuse me, he says, when I was my father's son, he taught me. He taught me. And he's very honest and says, I don't have what I have today because I came up with it all. Someone gave me wisdom. Someone taught me. This is an honest heart, and this is what helps us connect with other people. When we're honest about where we've been, where we've come from, what God has done in us, it gives clarity to our being, but it gives clarity to our purpose as well. So have a heart to help, have a heart that's honest, and have a heart that's passionate to do this. He says to this one he writes to, this dad, this father, this apprentice teacher, says, I want to help you get wisdom, get understanding. And he has a passion about it. When we let these be our driving force, even in the midst of a chaos and crisis today, it will give us great clarity. It will keep us focused. So I'd say to us, stay connected. Use your phone, call someone, text someone, message someone, use social media for good today. Be connected to someone else, not just for what they can do for you, but what you can do for them. And be an encourager in that. Give someone hope today. Speak life to someone today. Pass on to them what God has spoken to you. And be active in this. Let this be your purpose. Let this be what this day is about. Let this be what this time is about. Who can I encourage? Who can I pass along some wisdom to, some help to? Who can I share my life with? As you do this, you will find great clarity for God's purpose in your life, His presence in your life, and you will find clarity in the chaos.